welcome to another film reviews video. As always, I will leave timestamps in the description box below so that if there's a particular movie you want to hear my thoughts on, you can scroll to that one. And I will leave last week's movie reviews video up here in case you missed it. This week I saw significantly more in the cinemas than I did last week. I saw 5 films in total because last week I was doing a readathon, so I wasn't at the cinema. I went once. Whereas this week I had my AMC credits saved up and I was able to see something with MoviePass for the first time in like 4 months. Yay! So the first film I saw this week was using MoviePass, and that was On the Basis of Sex, which is Felicity Jones as Ruth Bader Ginsburg, married to Armie Hammer as Martin Ginsburg. And I went in expecting it to be a little bit like the RBG documentary, but dramatised, like a biopic. But actually, it really focuses on her struggle to find a job in the law, having struggled through Harvard and subsequently Columbia, and then what happens with her first case. So it really focuses on that first case. And so some of the scenes are shot here in Denver, which was interesting. I'm not sure whether they were shot here, I haven't looked that up, but some of the scenes take place here in Denver. So it was a pleasant surprise to see that it kind of, focuses on her very early career. I don't know if they're planning on coming back and doing more later on. But I mean, if that's the plan, I'm on board for it. I really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend it. If, like me, you have seen the documentary as well, the RBG documentary, which I believe is on Netflix now or Hulu? It's on one of them, so you can rewatch it. Then, yeah, you'll definitely find it interesting. I think their on-screen chemistry is really good, and it's interesting seeing her in a teaching job as well as in the role that we know her in now, because you really get a sense of literally how far that person has come and what they've struggled and what they've been through. You know, if someone wanted to go and see it with me again, I would definitely go and see it again. Then I went to see Holmes and Watson because I'd been meaning to see it and just hadn't got around to having the opportunity to see it. And obviously everybody's slating it. People are saying that they're like walking out of the cinema during it, and it was really quite a bad movie. The jokes are in poor taste, which you can get away with in some instances, but because there are other things that are bad in this film, you kind of can't get away with jokes that are in poor taste as well. Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly both put on these awful English accents. I don't know if they were meant to be bad or if they were actually trying to do kind of posh English accents. It was interesting, and I don't know, now this might be different whether it was in the UK versus in the US, but I felt like some of it, the sound editing wasn't great in that they like dubbed some of it, or there'd been, you know, a separate sound recording, and it wasn't quite matched up, because the Kelly MacDonald plays this Scottish housekeeper, not giving away any spoilers, and sometimes when she was talking, her lips weren't matching up with what was going on, and it was, I don't know if it was just her sound editing, whether they'd dubbed her accent to make it less Glaswegian and more just general Scottish. I'm not sure. So yeah, so if you've seen it in the UK and you're watching this, let me know if that was the case there, or whether, if you've seen it in the US, if you found that was the case as well. I don't know if it was just the sound wasn't quite right in my showing, but it was particularly her character, which makes me think they might have like changed her accent for the US release. I don't know, but it really bothered me, as you can imagine it would. Then the next film I went to see on Thursday, I did a triple header on Thursday to use up my AMC credits, was a Bohemian Rhapsody sing-along. And I was like, oh my goodness, yes, loved this film, would happily watch it again. They're releasing it as a sing-along version. Oh, it's gonna be fabulous, it's gonna be so much fun, people are gonna be singing, people will be really on board with this. Yeah, I was the only one in the cinema. So, you know my thoughts on Bohemian Rhapsody. You know, I loved it. It's deserving of all its nominations that it's getting. I just thought it was a great film and really well done. Watching it again was a pleasure, but then, yeah, seeing it as a sing-along, if I was on my own in the cinema seeing it anyway, I would sing along because there's no one else in the cinema with me. The weird part was that these two guys came in right at the end, basically for just the Band-Aid segment of the film. So they stayed, watched that, and then as soon as the credits started, left again. So that was really weird because I'd spent this whole 2-hour film on my own in the cinema with my sing-along words if I wanted them, not that I don't know the words. And then, yeah, these two guys came in, so that was a bit weird. Holmes and Watson was a solo viewing experience as well. That was, so Thursday I was just like, private screenings of films. And then I went to see the third film on Thursday, which was Aquaman, which was significantly busier, but not loads busier. There was a few other people. It was an 8:15 showing. My cinema just doesn't seem to do things. They kind of seem to stop showing films, like they start at 7:30 and then the next lot of films start at like 9:30. And I know it's because of, you know, they need the cinemas to show the films. It's a 24 screen cinema, but like 7:30 I'm still having my dinner. 9:30 I'm not getting out the cinema until midnight. Having like an 8 o'clocky showing is a convenient time. I've finished my dinner by then and I'm ready to watch something, and then it's over by like 10:30. It's all good. So found an 8:15 showing that I wanted to go and see, and I thought, I've kind of put off seeing Aquaman, but I always knew that I would go and see it eventually, because obviously last year I was surprised by the fact that I liked Deadpool, I liked all the other Marvel films in that whole Iron Man, Avengers, Captain America, Hulk, everything series. And so I was like, right, we'll go and see Aquaman. It looks like it might be fun. Yeah, I was really bored. I kept checking the time. And when I checked the time at 10, and it was only 10, and the length of the film is 2 hours 23, so by the time you add on your 20 minutes for trailers, we're talking nearly 3 hours. So I had almost a whole hour left, and at that point I was like, I think I'd rather go home and read. That's always the test, is if I'd just rather go home and get into bed and read my book. It's not doing it for me. One of the issues that I had with it, aside from the fact that I thought the storyline was really boring, was the fact that there was so much CGI in it. Obviously there's a lot of underwater footage. I knew there was going to be a lot of CGI, but I just felt at a lot of times it just felt like a cartoon. It just felt like an animated film, and that's not what it's being billed as. It's being billed as a live action film. And I think the ones that I saw last year, yes, there's a lot of CGI in them. Of course there is. It's all special effects. It's superheroes. You know, we can't all actually fly. But they did it well, and there was a good balance, and it was just well edited. Whereas this one, I just felt like, yeah, it just felt like a cartoon, because so much of it was animated underwater, and the hair underwater just feels like when you see hair underwater in an actual cartoon, in an animated film. So unfortunately I didn't go into it thinking I wasn't going to like it, because like I say, I enjoyed all the Marvel films I watched last year. It was a pleasant surprise, but this one just didn't hold up for me. And yeah, mainly didn't feel it had a storyline, so I was bored, couldn't get on board with the amount of CGI. And then the final film I saw this week was The Upside, which was obviously #1 at the box office last weekend. And it really showed, because I left it to the last minute to get a ticket, and there was people sitting in the front row. Like, I managed to get a seat in the second row, but just because I was a single person. But yeah, there was people sitting in the front row. It was a full screening at 11 o'clock on a Friday morning. What's up with that? I don't know if it's because it's a holiday weekend here. A lot of people seem to have Monday off. The schools are off on Monday. Maybe people are taking Friday off as well. I don't know. But yeah, it's obviously doing very well and is very popular here. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very, very well done film. It did make me want to go and watch Me Before You again, because obviously it's a very similar storyline. It's quadriplegic and they need to hire a live-in help, and yeah, they kind of end up helping each other, which is lovely. It's an interesting pairing. Obviously, Bryan Cranston, Kevin Hart, you don't see them together an awful lot. And then you've got Nicole Kidman thrown into the mix. So kind of the three of them in a lot of scenes together was really interesting. But I think it really worked. Like, I don't know how. They must have a few bloopers from that one, because some of the ways Kevin Hart was replying to things Bryan Cranston would do or say was really funny. And because it was busy cinema, everybody was laughing. I was laughing. And yeah, at the same time, it was also, you know, it had a serious side to it. But there wasn't like a ton of tragedy in it, which was nice. It wasn't as weepy as Me Before You. It did make me want to watch that again, but didn't have that same, like, I need to go into this with tissues factor. Yeah, no, I really recommend that one. So definitely recommend On the Basis of Sex, and definitely recommend The Upside. Holmes and Watson, no. Aquaman, no. And if you go into a Bohemian Rhapsody sing-along, check that there are other people in the movie theatre. Obviously, I recommend Bohemian Rhapsody, as this is the second time I've been to see it. Or is it the third time I've been to see it? I think it's only the second time. I don't know. I would have seen it again, you know. I would go and see it again now. Yeah, so I will have another movie reviews video for you next week. Let me know if there's anything that you've seen in the comments that you would like me to go and see and share my thoughts on, or anything you've seen that you think that we all should stay away from. I will be back with another bookish video for you on Wednesday, because it's a holiday here on Monday, so I'm not going to have anything up on Monday. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you either on Wednesday or next Sunday for more movies.